he's an easy guy to work with. I'm going to two-part of my speech again, so most of you get to hear it twice. I'm Ellie Biederman. I came here with my husband Larry in 2009. He was pastor that time of the Methodist Church. And he pastored there for a couple of years and decided it was time to retire. But we're staying in Plattsmouth. We're up on the hill east of Rylander Park. So I'm just up the hill from the roller coaster hill, you know that? I have fun to walking down First Street, and my grandson likes to trace the Winterstein and the Winterstein School. But anyway, I have worked together with our church and with Seneca in town for the time that I've been here. And I've also had some problems with my health. I can't count on myself being good for... This thing is a 32-hour class spread up into sections that are 2 hours twice a week or 3.5 hours once a week. And my health, I just don't figure I could handle that much. Plus organizing everything. But anyway, I found out about this through interagency. Because Sharon Smith made sure I got on the interagency board too. I was really impressed with what I heard. Jim Spaniers made it to that meeting. He was really impressed. He had heard of it before. And Roger, who was then the chairman, did something with Bridges Out of Poverty that I've not seen. We've got plenty of seats up closer to the front. And Greg is really not scary. He's going to talk after I get done.
Well, thank you. So, yes, I'm Greg Smith. I work for Omaha Bridges Out of Poverty. I was told I have 2 hours. Is that okay? Okay, good. No, my slides are 15 minutes. So 15 minutes, hopefully it's like 20, 25 minutes. I think that's our sweet spot. You're welcome to sit wherever you want. I promise I don't bite. You're welcome to sit up here, whatever works for you. So like Ellie said, I work for Bridges. But I'm going to, again, it's 15 slides, but I need to go big picture and explain what Bridges is all about, because some of you might have not even heard of what Bridges Out of Poverty is. So Bridges Out of Poverty started in the 90s. Ruby Payne and Phil Duvall. Ruby Payne got her doctorate in education. She was a teacher in inner city Chicago, and she saw lots of poverty in Chicago as a teacher. And she realized to try to help break the poverty cycle, the best thing would be to get out of the teaching curriculum, but partner with someone to create some curriculum for adults to break the cycle with generations for the families. So she partnered with a person named Dr. Phil Duvall, and they created a book called Bridges Out of Poverty, and I'll go over that in a minute, but their goal is to bring people out of poverty and bring people to stability. And poverty can be a variety of different ways. We're going to talk about that in a little while. But in America, we think poverty is financial poverty. And actually, Bridges will say it's one of the 11 resources is financial. It could be social capital, it could be physical, it could be spiritual, it could be a variety of different, it could be hidden rules, it could be a variety of different of those topics in the 11 resources. So you could have all the money in the world, but you could have a deficit in the social capital and have a deficit in all those other areas. I'll give an example. Scrooge, before he has the 3 ghosts visit him, you would say he would possibly have a deficit. He had all the money in the world, but he didn't have that holistic mindset. So, our goal is to bring individuals and families realize their dreams and create a new story and compelling future, and to bring people to stability. So we have classes across the metro area. Our goal is to eventually have a class down here in Plattsmouth. We partnered with over 350 partners in 8 years, and those partners have hosted classes for us before. We partner with Salvation Army, Habitat for Humanity, Goodwill, some hospitals, some high schools, any place that's willing to host a class. A variety of churches have hosted classes for us before. So But our goal is to bring stability to people's lives. So it's not necessarily the financial piece, but it's a holistic mindset. Everybody know who Dave Ramsey is? Raise your hand if you've ever heard of Dave Ramsey. Okay, I'm a huge Dave Ramsey fan. Went through it twice. I needed a little bit more help the second time. However, and our family is Dave Ramsey believers. However, Dave Ramsey is very telegraphed on a couple certain specific categories. And our class and what Bridges offers is a holistic mindset. So it's a little bit different than Dave Ramsey. So these are 11 different resources we cover in a class. We go over physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, social capital, financial, language, integrity, persistence, relationship, and hidden rules and knowledge of life. Language is not like the typical language you would expect, like Latin, Spanish, blah, blah. It's different types of way we interact with people. So is it adult-child interaction? Is it romantic interaction? Is it formal? Is it informal? I'm kind of sort of right now at this moment is probably doing a little bit of formal and a little bit informal language. And I'll give an example is when my wife talks to me as a parent-child interaction, hey, you need to do this and this and this, I get a little bit of bristly and it doesn't go well. And so we talk about different types of language and how we interact. She doesn't do that often. I'm just, it's okay. But we talk about all of this, and we also talk about the hidden rules of life and knowledge of life. For example, a hidden rule is, I had a friend of mine who said, hey, I want to go to your church. She said, can I bring coffee in? Yes. Is there a carpet? What kind of dress code is it? How long is the service? A lot of those hidden rules are not on our website anywhere. How charismatic is that church? That's not on our website. So the more someone's comfortable with the hidden rules of life, the more someone feels comfortable being successful in that environment. And so we talk about how to research the hidden rules of that environment too. We are a nonprofit. Like Ellie said, there's a lot of Bridges initiatives across the world. With Ruby Payne and Phil Duvall, if you search Bridges, you will find it's a massive, massive system. There's over 225 Bridges initiatives across the world. There might be one in Ireland, there might be one in Chicago. I know Des Moines has some initiatives, Lincoln has a Bridges initiative. Our Bridges initiative is quite a bit different than other Bridges because the one in Lincoln is under the food bank. So the food bank does the food bank business, but then they offer classes on the side. When we started 8 years ago, our founding CEO said, I want all employees to eat, breathe, and get paid Bridges concepts. So I am the Director of Community Partnerships, so wherever Ellie wants me to present in Plattsmouth, I come down and present. That's my job. No, and I do that, I mean, I had 2 other meetings this morning in a variety of other places, so.
Thank you for Greg and Mark for
it's all good.
doing that.
Yeah, it's all good. And so, yes, I network and present and get people and share what Bridges is all about across the whole metro area. So, we are non-for-profit. We offer classes that are free to anyone in the community. We have one requirement, that you have to be 19 years of age. That is the only requirement. We don't care income. We don't require any kind of documentation. We don't have any specifics other than the fact that you have to be 19 years of age. And it is a very holistic class. I've been employed for about 1.5 years. I was in the education world for 25 years, and I wish I would have taken this class student teaching, because taking this class in student teaching, I realized some of the hidden rules that I was not really aware of how people possibly act in certain ways. And I would have been a better teacher and I would have been able to interact better with my families. And so all staff are required to take the class, and it's very, very insightful because it's not just a financial piece, it's the hidden rules of life and cause of poverty and middle class mindset, wealth mindset, and whatnot. The classes are free, and we actually incentivize people to take our classes. So if you go through the 32-hour class, we give you a $400 Visa gift card. So a 32-hour class, $400, if I do the math right, it's like $12.50 an hour is what we're incentivizing people to take the class. Because we know time is of value, so we want to put some value in people coming to the class. We also bring in a catered meal, so if the class is face-to-face, we bring in a catered meal with Hy-Vee and whatnot. We partner with all the Hy-Vees, so we bring in a meal for the class as well. Since our start in 2016, early 2017. We have not taken any tax dollars to sustain us at any capacity. It's all 100% fundraising, grants, talking to different agencies, talking to different donors that want to fund us to offer the classes and do all the things we do in our organization. And we go over soft skills, financial skills. Like I said, I already talked about the 11 resources, but the financial piece is probably only 30%. The rest of it is all other key components that we talk about. And I already mentioned we don't require any documentation other than the fact that you're 19 years of age. I have an information sheet back there, the white sheet. We do a survey after all our graduates every 6 months. And so we want to know, is our class and our system making a difference in people's lives? And so that survey is 6 questions, and we do incentivize people for completing the survey. So if they complete the survey, it's a $25 Visa gift card. And so we can get some stats from that, because we say, okay, after 6 years, 5 years, every 6 months, is our system making a difference in people's lives? And so the stats on that white page says that on average, the average person increases their annual salary by $18,000 after taking a class and implementing some strategies and having our life coaching and all those information, all other things we offer in the program. We have a 90% graduation rate, which is pretty high, but we also do orientations before our classes, so we can go over some details. And so people feel comfortable with all the details of class before they register. Debt to income ratio is dropped by 50%, and we say that it's a 20-to-1 investment on what we're investing in someone's lives and how that is rippling effect in the community, making a difference in people. Our participants are actually not called participants, we call them investigators. We also say that they are the expert in their lives. We do not drive their life story. The participants, investigators, drive their life story. So we go over SMART goals, we go over the 11 resources, we say, hey, what SMART goal what SMART goal do you want to write? I took this class a year and a half ago, and I was a distance runner, and I ran many, many marathons back in the day, but it's been 18 years, so my SMART goal was to get back in shape. And so a SMART goal can be anything. And we also say it's a 50-50 model, so when you participate in class, it's not lecture style. It's not someone standing up and doing this like I'm sitting up in front of you right now, lecture style. It's a healthy kitchen table discussion. We all sit around as a group and we just talk. And we go over a workbook. And the workbook is aimed at the 7th grade, 8th grade reading level. So, and then we build resources for people in the community to help them be the best they can be. And of course, I already said the 19 years of age. One resource that we do that's unique for our program as opposed to other initiatives is we have life coaching free forever. So if you go through our class, you are the driver when you want to use a life coach. So maybe you want to call a life coach and say, hey, I'm getting married, do you have a suggestion of pre-marriage counseling place? Or hey, I want to buy a house, do you have a suggestion on a resource to help me with mortgage? Or hey, you get the general gist, but I'm looking for a new employment. Can you help me figure out how to freshen up my resume? So our life coaches can help with whatever. They do not necessarily do all of the details, but they can refer you to a variety of different agencies, and that's free, unlimited, forever if you go through our class. We have 2 life coaches. One of you grabbed the Spanish brochure back there. No habla español, no. But we do promote Spanish out. We have 2 classes every quarter in Spanish, and so we also have a life coach in Spanish as well. We actually are expanding our curriculum, and we're actually offering another class in Korean. We know there's a big Korean population in the Omaha metro area, and it's actually our 2nd class, and it's a dual language. It's English-Korean combination class.
Korean?
No, Karen.
Korean.
Karen is a minority tribal from Burma, and there's a huge Karen population, immigrant population in Omaha.
Okay.
So, yeah. In the class itself, I already mentioned about the meals. We go over the life skills. We always run 2 facilitators in every class. Because different personalities or one person can interact differently while the other person's facilitating and they tag team. So you get 2 different personalities. We also emphasize social capital. So we go over in the metro area or in the city, what are some things, what are some resources that you know that would be great? Maybe a great childcare, maybe a great, workforce development place. We go over what people know in the class for social capital networking, and we write it all on boards and we share it all out so everybody knows all that stuff. And then we talk about that, and then our classes are 10 to 18 and max 18, but we try to keep it in that sweet spot and not so large that people feel overwhelmed, but not so small that it's 2 facilitators with three participants, 3 investigators. So we also say that anybody who graduates from a class gets a $50 referral. So you go through our class and you feel like it's making a difference, and you try to get people to go into a new class coming up. One person that you refer, and they put your name down, it's $50, so you refer 5 people, $250 Visa gift cards are coming your way. We do classes every quarter, and so we have anywhere between 9 to 12 locations across the metro area that host classes. I line up all the locations, and we rarely go back to that same location again that year, because we want to rotate and we want to offer new locations, because we want to offer a location north, south, east, west, Omaha, 2 or 3 over in Council Bluffs, and we're going to expand beyond, hopefully have a class down in Plattsmouth here, and then go even north. I'm actually, at the end of this week, I'm actually presenting in Des Moines. We won't have a class in Des Moines, but I can present the concept of what Bridges does. And then we also, with these classes across the metro area, we go by a quarter cycle. And so when classes are done, we also have a graduation ceremony. We know some people who might have not walked in any kind of graduation ceremony, high school, associate, bachelor's, whatever. We make it a big deal that you graduated from one of our classes. So you come to the graduation ceremony, it's on a Saturday afternoon, you invite your friends and family. We usually have anywhere between 95 to 115 graduates, and then all their friends and family come. Our graduation ceremonies are between 250 to 350 people in attendance. You come up on the stage, our CEO shakes your hand saying, congratulations, here's a diploma. You graduated from the Getting By class or the workplace class or whatever one of the classes we offered. You come off the stage, then we give you your $400 Visa gift card, and we have punch and ice cream after celebrating that you graduated. So. And then I always mentioned that we have classes across the metro area. Tools that we go over the class, we go over My Life Now, Theory of Change, Stephen Covey, so that's actually in the workbook. Causes of poverty, so is it generational poverty or is it situational poverty? Pretty self-explanatory what the differences are, but we talk about all of that. And then we talk about hidden rules, I already talked about that. Assessments, building resources, and personal and community plans. And building resources, I already mentioned this too, but I post like crazy on our closed Facebook page that I don't know what people want, and so we have over 1,800 people have gone through our classes. I don't know what they're looking for, I don't know what their friends and family are looking for, and we have a closed Facebook page for just alumni. Ellie's on it, she often makes comments. She's like, oh, this is great, whatever. And so, like, just an hour and a half ago, I posted some stuff on AIM, which does free technology training for people. So I post that flyer because I don't know what resources people are looking for. I want people to feel like there's resources available to help them with whatever they're looking for. In the class itself, the classes, we do have some basic requirements. We do a debt-to-income ratio, so that's probably the hardest piece. People know what income you have, but do you have a good handle on all your expenses? So you come to the class, hopefully you have a decent handle on your expenses. You come to class with all your income and all your expenses, and you put it in a formula, and the formula will spit out thing. You're a 22% debt-to-income ratio, or you're 45%. Are you satisfied with that? If not, do you want to make a SMART goal based on that? We talk about stability scale, remote intake, making a SMART goal, exit evaluation, and then we also have a attendance requirement for our class as well. We do not have a whole lot of homework in a class. One of the homework pieces is time management, and so in the class itself, you say, how much time do you think you spend on social media? How much time do you spend on grooming? How much time do you spend on eating? You write all this down in your workbook. And then you spend the next 3 to 5 days writing down actually how much time you spend. So if I think I spend 2 hours on social media, but then I write down the next 3 days that it's actually 5 hours per day, or 15 hours a week at social media, not 2 hours, then I can actually see what's reality as opposed to what I thought, and I can make differences in my life if I choose to go that direction. So we actually have 4 classes that we offer across the Omaha metro area. We have a Getting Ahead and Just Getting By World, which Ellie alluded to. It's a 32-hour class. It's free, open to the public. Anybody can take it. We partner with tons of, like I said, different agencies. We have another one called Getting Ahead While Getting Out. We just actually started that in January. It's actually at the Omaha Correctional Center. It's a 52-hour class, and it talks about what are your plans when you leave a correctional center, what plans you have in place within the first 72 hours of being out of the correctional center. And then we have another one called Getting Ahead in the Workplace. We partner with CHI, we partner with Children's Nebraska, and we've also partnered with Methodist, and we're expanding that, and it is to build stability as an employee in the workplace setting. And then we have the last one called Our Rules, and that's for aimed at the high school population. And we actually have a class right now in Omaha Public School at Blackburn High School, and we have 9 youth taking that class right now. So I'm kind of going quick because I was told I only had like 25, 30 minutes. So I see some heads nodding, but I don't know if there's gears turning, asking questions. So
Well, I've got
I'm
a
sure you'll-
question about getting ahead while getting out. You mean you really don't want people just to get out of jail and dumped on the street at midnight?
we are blessed to have a curriculum to be in. We can work with incarcerated folks, and so there's lots of different curriculums out there. There's actually another one with first responders and how first responders can interact in the community, firefighters, medics, and whatnot. So but we are only focusing on these 4. And the Getting Ahead While Getting Out and the Our Rules is new as of January 1st, 2025 for us. The other 2, number 1 and 3, are the ones we've been focusing on for many, many years. So, other questions? Ellie was being smart with that one, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
So you did these incentives, the $400
Yes, yeah.
and the $25.
Yeah.
So where's that money coming from?
Yep, we partner. Yep, everybody asked that question. So there's 2 different angles of how we get funds. One angle is when I partner in community and I network in the community. I say, hey, we have a class. This class costs X amount of dollars. Is anybody interested in helping offset the expense of the food for the participants, or helping with the salary of our staff, or all the behind-the-scenes interaction with the class itself, because that's at one level. And then our CEO does a phenomenal job asking for grants from a variety of different agencies across the metro area and saying, hey, is it a 2-year grant, 3-year grant, what have you. However, we are very crystal clear. When we ask for any kind of grant, that grant cannot change our curriculum or our agreement with our system as an initiative. And so our stats and what we do in a class, you can give us all the money in the world, but if you say, I want 2 more hours added to that class, or I want 3 hours taken away from that class, we won't go to those agencies. So our CEO does a phenomenal job asking, and it could be 20, and some churches have even donated to us because they say, we would like give you some funds, and we want the class specifically in this metro area population. And so that's helped us with some classes too. Yeah. So, yep. And then, we are 501c3. We haven't taken tax dollars, but it's been fundraising. Yeah. Thank you for the question, because everybody asks. Every time I present, everyone asks. So yes. Other questions? Oh, okay. We got 2 more hands. All right, go ahead.
You list 10 full-time employees and 20 contract facilitators.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, does that cover all the classes you have?
Yes.
Or do you bring more people in to conduct
That covers everything. So our contracted facilitators are independent contractors who are our facilitators who are facilitating the class. So our team is only 10 office staff. I'm one of them. However, we run 2 facilitators in every class. And so all the facilitators have taken our class, have applied to become a facilitator, have taken additional training, and we've gotten them national certified. But they are an hourly employee that pick up the classes when it works out with their schedules. And though they facilitate all our 10 to 12 locations across the metro area. So if you are a facilitator, you might say, I want to do a class Saturday morning and I want to do a class Tuesday, Thursday night. So then you're picking up those classes for us to facilitate. Yep, it covers everything. Yep, thank you. Yep. And we are expanding, because if we're expanding to the Korean population, we're expanding to hire a couple more facilitators in that class for that language. We also have 6, 7 facilitators right now that are dual language, Spanish and English. Because when we offer those Spanish classes, we want to make sure that the class is in Spanish. So yeah. Yes, go ahead.
How many classes do you have going at any one time?
We have anywhere between 8 to 12 locations hosting a class every quarter.
And how do you find people who feel like they need this class?
It's word of mouth by agencies getting the word out, also social media, but maybe if we're partnering, I'll give a good example. If we're partnering at Goodwill, we create a flyer specific with that location and those times of the class, and that location hands out a flyer with their logo on it, promoting the class coming up, and then with our information on it. So we tag team with the marketing to get the word out that a class is coming up. Goodwill was another example. We just partnered with Goodwill at 35th and L in Omaha, and it's a new Spanish class for us at that location. So we created an English flyer, Spanish flyer. So it's actually Goodwill training. There's some conference rooms, but their retail store was helping promote the class as well to get the word out. So every agency is helping us recruit and get the word out. So yeah. And when we partner with churches, some churches feel comfortable getting the flyer out to people. Other churches a little bit quieter, but we can figure out however to partner. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah, great question. Great question. There was another hand up. Yes, sir.
That was my question.
That was a ditto question.
How?
How? Yeah. And we don't do a whole lot of social media posts because the best way to recruit is by word of mouth, by people who believe in it as referrals. And also agencies who are recruiting that believe in what we're doing. We also, probably about a year ago, we have created when classes start for, like we're in Q2 right now, classes starting for Q2. You can go on our website and we actually have a flyer saying, would you be interested in being notified when the orientations open up for Q3? Doesn't mean you're signing up for anything. It just means you go on our system. And we have anywhere between 250 to 350 people in that Excel spreadsheet saying they want to be notified when all the orientations open up in May and June for the classes that are in July. And we send them a blast once our orientations get locked in. And our classes get filled within an hour and a half to 2 hours of all our orientations because people want to be notified and we get that system filled up. So, yeah. Yes,
How big
sir.
are your classes?
12 to 15 people per class. Yeah. 12 to 18, I think is what I said. 12 to 18, yeah. So, yes, yeah.
So if you have 15 people in a class, might each of those people have a very different need, a financial need, a spiritual need?
Absolutely, yes.
And so you address all of those?
It's a very generic, we don't dive in, like, now your financial need might be different than someone else's, so you're gonna go over the debt to income ratio, we're gonna talk about a predatory lender, we're gonna talk about credit cards, we're going to talk about financial big picture, and then you go deeper with the life coach whenever you want to help your life coach take it. It's a specific one-on-one conversation that you want with your life coach because everyone is different in life. Yeah, and we have classes at homeless shelters. And so we have classes at a homeless shelter all the way up to the hospital. So we have a very, very diverse population that we're working with. So yeah. Other questions? Oh.
Well,
I got a couple more things. So,
yeah.
well, this is a workshop stuff, but I'm doing a workshop right now. So, a workshop is just an informational meeting about what Bridges is all about. We actually, and it could be informal or informal, and so we just want to get the word out what Bridges is. We actually are expanding beyond a workshop, and we're actually offering a poverty simulation. And so we've done it with school districts and a chamber of commerce, and we have contracts for future events to do future poverty simulations. And a poverty simulation could be anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, and people participate and get a feel of what it is like as someone who goes through 12 to 16 different stations in the life of someone who might struggle financially. So we've been expanding that. All right, and then you asked a lot of questions, but I would also say, this is my contact information, that's a main number, and then that's my office number. So you're welcome to write that down. You can shoot me an email or give me a call. Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
One more question.
Yeah, absolutely. You
So
can ask as many questions as you want. I'm here.
How long do you follow up the graduates from the classes?
Every 6 months, every graduate gets a stability questionnaire forever.
As long as the need is there?
No, I'm sorry. No need. We are sending surveys out as soon as you graduate, 6 months after you're gonna get a survey. 6 months after that, you're gonna get another survey. 6 months after that, you're gonna get another survey. Because we need to collect that data to say, are we making a difference in your life 3 years from now or 6 months from now? And that data helps us get these stats. And so when you graduate, you get a survey. If you need additional life coaching, you are the driver to our life coaches. Because when we have over 1,900, almost 1,900 people who have graduated, it's not a caseload system. Our life coaches don't say, you have 900 and you have 900. It doesn't work that way. It's driven by the graduate saying, hey, I need to freshen up on my resume. Can you help me out? But we do send out that 6 month survey to all graduates. So it's a little bit, it's driven by the graduate of what they would like. So.
I have a thank you.
There's two more questions. Go ahead.
So how many years of data do you have then?
We started 8 years ago. I can't say off the top of my head when our survey started, but I know it was relatively new within the first year of us starting because we knew we needed some stats to show to our funders and to show that are we making a difference in people's lives. So, yeah. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
I see your flyer says you serve 85% women, 15% men.
Yes.
And how do you account for that?
How do we account for those stats?
I mean, what do you think the reason is that the women are using this so much more?
I don't know. Other than, I honestly don't know.
You don't think it's because women are in charge of households?
I don't know, honestly, because the reason why I say that is because we have also a lot of, you actually would be surprised that our Spanish population actually has the highest men enrolled. And so that's unique too. And so, when I took a class, it was 5 and I was the only gentleman in the class. So I'm not sure why we have those stats. But, we're trying to get the word out and whoever wants to enroll can enroll. Yes, sir, did you have another question?
Well, I just wanted, do you coach on something like public speaking or interviews, is that type of?
That's through the life coaching, but it would not be through the class itself. Yeah.
Individually.
Individually, yes. So maybe you need to go to, maybe it's a Toastmasters class or something like that our life coach can direct you into that area. So, yeah. Thank you. That's a great question. Yeah. Any other questions? Ellie?
Well, I want to thank you.
Oh, sure.
Because
No problem.
I was really happy that Omaha Bridges was doing bridges as their primary thing. Starting with the getting ahead and just getting by world and expanding to the prison population or work population. I'm even more impressed now that they're talking about the life coaches, and everything develops around the basic guidelines presented by books. And when I was finding out about it, I'm going, yeah, but this feels like work and I don't know how to do this. I don't know who to get in touch with. I'm not, I know my people from my church. I know my people from Garden Club. That's about it. And so they have a really good foundation to get in touch with, and then they can direct from themselves on out.
And I would say with our life coaching, we're very crystal clear that we are not the expert on everything. We're the life coaches, so we can get you the resources of where you need to help you.
You are the reference.
But we are the reference to future resources. We'll open up those resources for you. But they're a life coach. They're just to get people those resources that they need to stay ahead or, you know, share their life stories or what have you, but that's what the life coaches do. Yeah.
So are the life coaches, do they have resources to go to if they have someone come to them with a question that they need help with, they don't feel qualified to answer?
Yes, they do, and yes, they do. There's 2 life coaches, and then they also have other supporting agencies that we work with for assistance. One of the areas that we saw that was a big need is mental health right now, and so we're partnering with an agency to help us with collecting a variety of resources, not just saying go to this one location for mental health. And our director of life coaching has a doctorate in that field, so he has a wealth of knowledge as well. And he's been in his 60s. He's in his 60s, not been. He's in his 60s, so he's been with Bridges for quite a while, and then he went from a GED in his early 20s to his PhD. So he has a good life story as well. So yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate all your time. So thank you. If you have other